I called my parents when I found out and I was crying. I cried for the whole week. I'm laughing now, but there was nothing funny about it. Talked to her during the call and I know it was giving desperate, but I was desperate and I needed that job. Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I want to do a quick life update story time type of thing. I haven't done one of these in a while. I actually like doing videos like this because I feel like it helps me connect more with my audience so you guys can know more about me. And also because I have new subscribers, so I figured it would be nice to, put this out. So before I get into the video, please give it a thumbs up. Please also subscribe if you haven't and turn on the notification bell so you'll be notified every time I post a new video. I don't know where to start with this video because I just feel like I might be everywhere, but I mainly wanted to talk about how I lost my job and how I got 2 new jobs, and probably also give some hope to people who might be in my shoes or people who were in my shoes at the time. I feel like I should also probably give a quick summary of who I am and what I do right now, especially for my new subscribers. So my name is Chilotam, okay? I currently live in the United States and I am or was an international student, and I am basically navigating my life or adulthood in the States. I moved here in 2023 August and I lived most of my life in Nigeria, but I have visited the States like on a couple of occasions, and I have those vlogs, but those were like in 2021 or 2022. That's when I made some of those videos. So if you want, you can scroll all the way down to 2022 Easter. That was when I traveled here with my mom and my sister. And when else? In 2021, I made a video of my first experience in the States in 2019. So if you want, I'll try to link those videos. The thing is that I'm just kind of lazy to link them sometimes when I'm uploading. I'm going to try to link them in the description box if you want to watch. So that's kind of my background. I was born and raised in Nigeria. I used to work as a content and user experience writer in Nigeria. So I was working in marketing, and most of all the skills that I gained from my early career in Nigeria, I've transferred them here to the States. And I got my master's in technical communication, so that also kind of helped me to break into the job market here. And the thing about the job market in America is sometimes when you're applying to jobs, they want to see that you have that experience in America. So all you need is just one job for you to break into the system. And by the time you update your LinkedIn, and recruiters can see that, okay, yeah, this person is up and coming, they have some experience in America and outside of the country, then they can, give you a chance. So I just wanted to put that out there. So I know I made a video sometime in May, I think. I graduated from a master's degree, and this was sometime after my birthday, or maybe it was, it was like towards the ending of May, I think. And I had just gotten a new job at the time and I was really excited. In fact, it was an internship, right? But it was an internship that was supposed to transition into a full-time role. So my internship started in June 20, what am I thinking about? It started in June this year, okay? June 2nd, that's when I started. And it took me a while to settle in before I tried to make the video, but I was actually struggling with whether or not I should have made that video, because I was thinking, okay, what if it doesn't work out and I end up being jobless? But at the same time, I was like, okay, I don't want that to stop me from doing what I like doing, which is making videos and putting them on YouTube. So I was torn between both, but I just eventually decided to do it, and I did. So I was at this job for about 3 or 4 months. It was June, July, August. No, I stopped late August like 22nd or 27th or something, I think. I remember when I found out, because like they were going to do the evaluation of some sorts, and there were some areas where I wasn't too strong in the role, and that was in graphics design. Trying to give you all the details because I don't want to like hold anything back. The area I struggled with a lot was in graphics design, so I think that's what they were looking for. But I didn't necessarily have those skills because my skills are more in writing. So I had asked my manager to tell me on time whether or not they were going to make a decision to keep me. because I wanted to know whether to start looking for another job. And this is the mistake that I made. The mistake I made is getting too comfortable, especially in today's America and the job market. You cannot get too comfortable. You always have to be like, even if you have a job, you have to be like passively looking and doing interviews. Even if you don't get the jobs for the interviews for the jobs you're interviewing for, if that makes sense. So I got too comfortable because I was like, oh yeah, they're gonna keep me. I think the biggest shocker was when they hired someone else to join the team. I was like, okay, yeah, they're definitely trying to get rid of me. No shade to anybody. It's just, I know a business will make decisions that suits them best, but it's just like one party has to suffer for it, and in this case I was the one who suffered for it because I lost the job. I remember feeling so down and so worried because I was like, okay, I don't have my job anymore. How am I going to pay my rent? How am I going to pay my bills? And how am I going to like sustain myself? How am I going to eat? Like I was really going through a lot, especially throughout September. In fact, I ended all my streaks with all my friends on Snapchat because I was like, yeah, I can't be doing this. I have to apply for like 30 jobs a day to make sure that I secure at least one. And it was just a very traumatizing experience for me. In fact, I think throughout, was it September or sometime in August, there was a time I stopped putting out videos. I think I didn't put out videos for like 3 weeks or for a month. And that was very intentional because I was like, I can't pay my bills. What am I filming? Because to me, YouTube is like a side thing, right? I'm always going to have a main job. I'm always going to have a 9 to 5. That's how I pay most of my bills. So I was too worried about how that was going for me to come and be filming stuff on YouTube. And I was in a very, very terrible mental space. The day I found out, I couldn't even work for the rest of that day because I was just like, yeah, what's the point? And I called my parents when I found out and I was crying. I cried for the whole week. I'm laughing now, but there was nothing funny about it. I cried for the whole week because I was just like, what am I going to do? I'm an immigrant. Who the hell is going to hire me? Like that's when I don't even know if to call it imposter syndrome. Imposter syndrome was really, really hitting me, and it was so difficult. I don't even like thinking about it too much because I just feel so sorry for myself. So now I'm going to talk about my application process and how I was trying to find a new job, because I actually think I was very, very lucky. I was only unemployed for like 3 to 4 weeks, so like roughly a month. That's how unemployed I was. When it comes to job applications, if I really need a job, I'm going all out. On a lazy day, I'm doing like 15 applications a day. That's on my lazy days. So, and on my not lazy days, I'm doing like 2 times, 3 times of that. So I eventually got this recruiter that reached out to me on LinkedIn. I'm not going to give out all the details because like that's personal information. But she reached out to me on LinkedIn and she was like, oh, this company is looking for a content project manager, blah, blah, blah. So I tweaked my resume to fit the job description because that's what you're supposed to do, right? And she gave me a call because usually when recruiters are recruiting, they first give you a call to just like assess where you are, know what you want, the pay rates that you want, just like to kind of get an idea of who you are before they set up any kind of interview. I'm not gonna lie to you, this was such a shameless move, but see, you know how people say closed mouths don't get fed? It's true. If you want something, you actually have to like really grab at that thing. So I talked to her during the call, and I know it was giving desperate, but I was desperate and I needed that job. So I told her, I said, please, I really need this job. Like, I've been jobless for 2 weeks and I feel like I'm losing my mind. I'm not saying you need to do this, right? It might work, it may not work, but I'm just telling you what I did and what worked for me. So I was very, very desperate and I put out my desperation and I told her, please, can you do everything you can to make sure that I get this job? Like, I'm really, really good, I'm qualified, I'm very skilled, the whole 9 yards. That's what I told her. So she was like, okay, that she's going to try her best. So she eventually scheduled me for the first interview, and I had the first interview with my current manager. And that interview felt like I was gisting with somebody I knew for like 5 years. It was that smooth. And I'm very good with interviews. I feel like maybe I should do a video of how to take interviews or how to do interviews. If you guys are interested in that, let me know. And you know, maybe my opinions on interviews are based on my experiences here in America, but in my experience or in my opinion, interviews are really interesting, especially if you know your stuff, like if you know what you're talking about. So yeah, I had the first interview with my current manager, and it went really well. Like, we were just talking. In fact, I think we even exceeded the interview time because it was that smooth. And I was just like, okay, fingers crossed, because I've had this experience before of getting an interview and not getting the job, and the interview going well and still not getting the job. So I was just like, okay, fingers crossed. I really hope. I was praying, you people. I was I was praying. I was like, God, please, like, I cannot afford to be broke. I cannot afford to be unemployed. And I told my family, like, everybody was, you know, feeling very sorry for me, and they were like, oh, just keep your chin up. My dad used to say this thing, and it's very scary when you think about it, but he used to say this thing that if you're a person in your life and everything is always going well for you, then it means that you're not going to live a long life. I don't know how I feel about that. Like, it could be true, it could not be true, but that kind of, I don't know if to say it consoled me, because that's such a, I don't know, I don't want to say it's bizarre, but it's a very jarring thing to think about, right? So that's what he told me, and he was like, don't worry, like, this is just one setback, like, you're still young, you're still a child. So I was like, okay, sure. The following week, the recruiter called me, and she was like, oh yeah, they want to do a second interview. I was like, okay, great, sure. And I was still doing fingers crossed, because I didn't want a situation where, like, I'm so close to it and I still didn't get it, because I know how painful that feels. So I did the second interview, and the second interview went really well too. And I was just like, okay, this place seems like a really good place to work at. It's remote, it's fully remote, by the way, which is like a dream come true, because I love working from home. Even though my former job, like, my schedule was still good. Like, I only used to go to the office 3 days a week, and I'll be at home for the rest of the week. I just wanted something that would fit my lifestyle, the life that I want, you know, flexible hours, a good enough pay, working from home. And, you know, I don't really do any kind of customer facing jobs, so I don't really need to be in people's faces. So that made it, like, so much easier for me. So eventually, in like a week, the recruiter called me again, and she was like, oh yeah, hey, they want to give you this role. How much are you willing to take? So we negotiated the pay and everything. And I couldn't even stop screaming, because I was just like, no way. Because this is not a small company, you know, it's really huge. And I was just like, wow, like, me of all people. Till today, I still can't believe it, because my imposter syndrome be kicking my ass sometimes. And I'm just so in awe of, you know, where I'm at, I guess. And I'm not trying to gloat, okay? This is just me being vulnerable with you guys and just telling you how I've been feeling for the past couple of weeks or for the past couple of months. So I eventually started on September 29th, I think, and I've been working there up until now. This is November 6th, right? This is like first week in November. And so far it's been really good. So I'm very happy about that. I want to kind of wrap up the video by talking about where I'm at right now professionally. Since I work from home and my main job, my hours are very flexible, I also started applying for other jobs, like, to supplement my income, because I feel like I have a lot of things that are in the works and I want to wrap them up by the end of this year. So I recently did another interview with another company, and in fact, this process was like super fast. And one thing I've learned about recruitment so far in the US and like just the corporate space is that when you get messages on LinkedIn, because most of these jobs or most of these interviews that I've been doing, the recruiter has been reaching out to me. And I've learned that once you get these emails or once you get like calls or they're reaching out to you or they're asking you for something, you have to act fast. Like, you have to act on it as quickly as possible, because you don't know how many other people that they're going to reach out to, and sometimes they just reach out to the people who respond to them the quickest. So I've been monitoring my email with an eagle's eye. I've been monitoring my LinkedIn with an eagle's eye, and I'm not really the type to post on LinkedIn. Like, I feel like, if I'm keeping it a buck, I really feel like LinkedIn can be, And I'm not really into all that. Like, I'm more of a Twitter person, just tweet what comes to my mind. And I feel like life is serious enough. And I just feel like LinkedIn is too serious for me. So occasionally, like, I'll repost some things that my friends post. But other than that, it's just too serious for me, and I'm already a very serious person, so I don't need that extra layer of seriousness. And I understand that, you know, professionally, like in the world that we live in today, you have to kind of acquiesce to what the standards are. So I get it, but it's just not for me sometimes. But I still, you know, monitor my inbox a lot, because that's how I get some of these interviews and offers. If you're watching this video and you are in the space of, or maybe you're between jobs, or you're trying to get a new job and all that, I want to encourage you to keep looking. I really trust me when I tell you that I know job hunting is hard, and I know it's hard because I've been there before, and it is one of the most humbling experiences that anybody can ever go through. So I know how heartbreaking it is, but I'm just here to encourage you, to tell you that it's not going to remain that way forever. And if you keep your head down and you keep doing applications, you're definitely going to get something. Another thing I wanted to mention very briefly, I was going to do a full video on this, but I don't feel like, I don't think it deserves a full video, not right now in the space where I'm in anyway. But if you are an international student in America and you are maybe on CPT or you're on OPT, I would advise you to search for contract roles. There are a lot of contract roles that last for maybe 2 to 3 months. CPT is usually for like maybe 2 to 3 months. People usually do that during the summer, or maybe even during, like, towards the end of the year when school is over in December. So there are jobs that last for just a very short time frame. And maybe if you're on OPT, you could also look for jobs that are maybe contracts that are like 6 months, 9 months. And when your contract is coming to an end, or towards the period when it's coming to an end, then you can start searching for new roles, right? I would highly encourage you to go that route, because you're more likely, actually they are more likely to hire you for a contract role if they know that maybe you're an OPT and your work authorization has an expiry date pending when you, I guess, work out your immigration status, if that's what you plan to do. I try not to talk about immigration on this channel because, like, the political climate in the country is very sensitive. So anything regarding American politics or like immigration, all that stuff, I try not to talk about it. I just wanted to put that out there in case maybe you're thinking about what to do. Maybe eventually I will do a guide or maybe a short series for international students who are already in America and want to, or are thinking of applying for jobs and stuff like that, like everything around job applications, because I feel like I have a lot of experience and a lot of funny stories around it. So I'd really love to share that and help people who are interested. Thank you guys for watching. I don't know if this video was all over the place. Forgive me if it was. I just wanted to kind of like say it from my head, the way I feel, the way it is. And for my new subscribers, thank you guys so much for subscribing. I'm really appreciative of people who take their time out to subscribe, because I know when I started this channel, and I know when I was just like, okay, I don't know if this is really going to go anywhere, but surprisingly, I have been consistent and I've been pushing my limits every year. So I'm really grateful for you guys' support. So with that being said, we've come to the end of this video. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. If you have any tips for people who might be in this position, leave it in the comments below as well. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't. Turn on the notification bell so you'll be notified every time I post a new video, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye.